Alright, so our next step is to create the door for our mailbox column. Now at this point, what you want to do is keep a copy of this, because any changes you make to it, you'll have your original to view to work off. And especially before you union anything. And this time we're going to union the top and bottom. So, or actually we can union everything together at this point. So we union it all together and have one item. Looks great. Now I want to create the opening from the back. To do so, I'm going to change my view to, actually, or I can go to view, since bottom was the other one, so I'm going to need top. So this is the actual back of my item. Now, I can tell by using the 2D drawing where my mailbox opening is. So I use that as a reference, and my door is going to be about that size here, in between and that. So I'm going to do that by creating either a rectangle that I want to cut out. So based upon the thickness, which is, I believe, 16, but let me check. Nope, 20. So I'm going to make it the size about 16 wide, and height will be it looks like 36. It didn't hit the right point, you can see that. So I'll be about 30 by 16. So I'm going to do a rectangle command, select a point, type in D, 16 wide by 30 high. There we go. And I'm going to place that in the front view of my bottom circle. So it's there, you can't really see it, but if I rotate, oh, where'd it go? Let me undo this for a little bit. See what happened to it? Okay. Oh, it's hitting the center point, not the quadrant. Alright, if we're gonna, that's alright. What we're gonna do next, before we do that then, is we don't want the polyline, so we're gonna have to explode this. You'll understand later on why I'm doing this. Or actually, oh, we can use this. So, we're gonna offset this rectangle, a very small thickness. So, what we're gonna do is offset 0.01, and what we want to do is press pull, which hopefully my computer can handle. I'm going to use the press pull button right here, select the inside, and now it's going to ask me a specified height, so I'm going to put 20, like so. My next step will be to take this item, move it from the midpoint of the bottom to the center. There we go. So it's centered, and I'm going to move it down, up I mean, to match with the height of this. So to move that, I will need to get a dimension. It was 36, so I'm going to go up 6 inches. Like so. So it's exactly where the mailbox is, so that's not what I want. I'll move it 3 down. Like so. And now I can subtract it. Use the subtract command, select the object, and select the item I want to subtract. Now, it's still, let's see, still should be one piece, yeah. So even though it's subtracted and it's no longer connected, it's still one piece. It's alright. There's a way to resolve this using the separate command. Separate command allows you to separate items that are not physically conjoined. So I select the item, like so, and I can just click enter. And that should make that a separate piece. Now, to get a better visual view, you may consider rotating that door, or creating a hole where you can put your hand in to open it. And of course, you can add a lock to this too. but I'm going to leave it as is so it's simple. Alright, so our next step will be to give it a material and finish our rendering of it. I'm going to delete these items, I don't longer need those. I'm going to go into some sort of good isometric view. Nope, that's not going to be what I'm looking for. Alright, I'm going to go through the view system here. Sometimes it's easier. No, I want the bottom view, like so. And I guess I can work with that. So what I want to do is go to Tools, Palettes, oh wait, Design Center, sorry. We go to actually Render, Materials Browser, and a material browser should show up either on left side or right side, and you can scroll next to it, and then you have all these materials to choose from. Now I don't have one in mind exactly, but let's see what can I find. Riverstone blue, maybe? I can try that. Well, we'll show you an example how it would look. So I have that, I drag it, and I select it selects on the item. So it actually does have a material on it right now. And if I click render, it should render whatever I have on my view box, and you can see the design. That's what I have currently. If you want to change your background from black to a different color, what I recommend to do is typing in background. Here you can decide on solid or gradient or image or sun and sky. I say solid for now, and I'm going to change the color. It's a little bluish now. I guess I can work with that. And click OK. Okay, that's way too blue. Go back to my command. I'm going to do a little more grayish. That looks nice. And now I can try again rendering. And I have something like this. Now that might be not the material I'm looking for, so I can go back and actually scroll down and find something more interesting. I'm actually wondering what beige, beechwood, birch, blue, brass. Actually, let's try brass polished. I'm gonna try that again, rendered. Oh, because of the blue around, it changes the color. That's not gonna be what I like. I'm just gonna pick something from the woods. Let me just find something. Wild cherry, yeah. Render. Now, if you want a visual view of it, before you do a actual rendering, you can change your view from conceptual to realistic if your computer can handle it, and you can get a sample view of the material. So it looks something like this. Now I can rotate it around until I get a better view of it, or keep it as is. Our options for rendering are also that you can change from medium to more. I'm not sure why that's not showing up. I guess there's an error, but let's see if I can manage. No, there's an option you can go to View, Render, Advanced Render Settings. There you can change from window to a viewport, or the type how well it's rendered. So I want a presentation. I'm going to do that right now. Click render and get a more presentation view, so more detail. Again, the background's creating an issue, so I am going to type that background. Let's see if I can change it to something that will not affect it. Index colors usually are a simple way of doing this. Keep the background black for now, just for the rendering. There we go, we got that wood design. And of course, you could from here you can save as a JPEG. Save. So in formats, you change it to JPEG, which creates a smaller file. I like using that. Mailbox column. save that up. So it's going to ask you about image control. You can keep it as is. If you want a closer view, you can just zoom in and render it once more. I'll get more into this later on, but it will take a little longer. You can see the actual texture. Actually, to change to, if you can't see this, make sure you have your materials and textures on. Sometimes that will cause an issue. So if I have materials and textures off, if I did a rendering, this is medium rendering. Oh no, this presentation rendering. Oh, it's actually showing. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. And that concludes the mailbox column.